Ladies and gentlemen of interpersonal communication, welcome to the last chapter. Chapter 10. I'm so excited. I really am. I've been promising all along, all semester long, that we were going to find out at the end of the semester how to maintain that best friend soulmate or that life partner relationship once you lock on. Once you figure that out, like Tony and Tina figured it out. They went to prom at the beginning of the semester, and then, I don't know, 6 or 7 years later, because it takes time. It takes time and it takes risk. But we finally got these clowns to where they're soulmates. Now, how are they going to stay there? Look, here's a visual of Tony and Tina right now at this level, at that soulmate level. Let's drop this in and look. Okay, take a sneaky peek. Take a sneaky peek. Tony and Tina overlap a ton. They've now become, soulmates. They're these best of best. For this is the 1 in a million for Tony and for Tina. All right. They have a desire to be life partners. All right, now look, they overlap. The two shall overlap a bunch. Okay, man. Here's the deal. Look at all of the stuff inside of Tony and Tina. Look at all of the stuff in there. There's values, feelings, beliefs. There's culture. There's group level information. There's the individual idiosyncrasies of each of them. There's the clubs that they belong to. Dudettes. There's a ton of stuff going on inside Tony and Tina. But now look at the Venn diagrams. Look at the Venn diagrams where they overlap. Okay, look. Tony and Tina have been together so long now that they have shared experiences. They have shared experiences. They even have come to the same truths together. A couple of the truths that they came into the relationship with, they already overlapped on those. But now they've developed some new truths about their, themselves and their relationships at that innermost core level. Okay, maybe, just maybe, they've talked, and I strongly suggest that they've talked about everything at this point. You don't move into a life partnership without talking about everything. Boy, are we going to see that coming up. But right now, let's pretend that one of the new truths that they have in their inner core, and they overlap on this truth, is that, they believe it is true that you do not need to spank children to discipline kids. They have that as a truth, and they overlap on that truth. Because if they don't overlap on some truths, especially some of the big truths like that, we got some troubles later on in this relationship. And that's why self-disclosure is going to rear its head again in this chapter. But first, look at how Tony and Tina overlap. They belong to some of the same groups. As a matter of fact, Tina got way into curling. She did. When she met Tony. And now they're going to the curling club, and they're in this co-ed curling thing. They're on a team. It's fun, Man, I don't know how to tell you this, but look, they also are still Tony and still Tina on an individual level. In other words, the two shall overlap a bunch, but Tony is still Tony and Tina is still Tina. Look, Tony has some other clubs that he belongs to. Tina has a book club that Tony doesn't go to. Tina has had a million life experiences as Tina before she met Tony, and Tony has had a million life experiences, before he met Tina. You can't erase that, and you can't completely, jam those two together. The whole concept that the two shall become one, I highly discourage that philosophy. Here's why. Listen, I might have told you this before, but I'm a licensed minister in the state of Minnesota. That's a true story. I've done countless weddings. I've married friends. I've married former students. This is a true. I mean, together. Not. I haven't married one of them. That's funny in my head. Hi, listen. I've married a bunch of people. I discourage them. There's a lot of the unity moments in a wedding. We've come to the moment of unity. Hey, look, there's a bunch of different places where they light a unity candle, and then they set their own candles next to it, and the whole big Tony and Tina candle is burning. I would encourage them not to blow out their own candles at this moment. I've seen this done a million times. I've seen sand mixed together, different colors of sand mixed together in a big jar. Just don't empty your own jars. Keep a little in there, because you're still Tony, you're still Tina, but you overlap immensely in the middle. Now, look at the Venn diagram. They overlap. I've seen this thing. I saw a wedding one time. Actually, I did the wedding, and these were former students. I did a wedding where the bride was going to release a box of butterflies that were orange. The groom was going to release a box of butterflies that were blue, and they were going to swirl up in this big giant butterfly tornado. Hey, fun! Yeah, except it was an outdoor wedding. It was about 100 degrees outside. We were sweating it, and I was moving, man. I was cooking, okay? And I was cruising to try to get through this thing before any of the bridesmaids fainted. So, at the moment of unity, where the two shall overlap a lot, the big tornado of butterflies, they opened up these boxes that they had under the first seats in this big awning tent. It was beautiful. Some of the butterflies flew off in this symbol of unity, which awesome. A bunch of the butterflies just kind of flopped on the ground and started like, oh, it was funny in my head. And then like they were stuck all over the bride's hair and dress, and she was like, ew, ew. And the groom was laughing hysterically. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the 5-year-old ring bearer dude, the little kid, 5 years old. He came up, he runs up, and he starts stomping on the butterflies on the ground, like, yeah, and then they were screaming. Then the grandma jumped up and mom jumped up. Oh, it was fun. Anyway, long story. Almost every ceremony that I've done has had this moment of unity, and I encourage them. You are still individual people that overlap a bunch. All right? One last time. Look at Tony and Tina now at their inner core. They overlap a bunch. They have shared experiences now. They have some shared truths in there. They have some individual truths still. They have some shared feelings. They feel sad about similar things, but, Tina feels sad about something that Tony doesn't. Tony feels angry sometimes, and Tina never gets angry about that. The individual aspects of Tony and Tina are still there. Okay? Tony, really, quite frankly, Tony and Tina's culture do not overlap one bit. She's Norwegian. He's Italian. The only place, look at the inner core, the only place that they overlap is, at that geo inside the culture. They're both from Minnesota. They both understand what black ice is. All right. Now that we've talked about that, the two shall overlap a bunch. Now we need to talk about how to keep them there, how to keep them in that life partnership. All right, so let's start. there are 6 skills that we'll talk about, and we're only going to do one today. There are 6 skills that we're going to talk about. Okay? So let's start. Skill number 1 is called confirming behaviors. Confirming behaviors. Skill number 1 is an action skill. Here's what the definition of confirming behaviors are. Let me just bring in a couple of slides here. I'm going to show you. Look, confirming behaviors are actions that give value to the other's existence in your world and in your inner core. Okay, now think about this. Tony acts in such a way that shows Tina that Tina is one of Tony's values, one of those big V's in his inner heart of hearts, in his core. And Tina acts like Tony is one of her values. Her actions give value to the existence of the other person, of Tony. Okay, this is crucial. You know, before we go any farther, you notice I'm saying Tony and Tina. Okay, listen, a big note for chapter 10. All of these skills, all 6 of these skills have to be practiced mutually and constantly. Okay, I'm not kidding you. Constant and mutual are going to undergird or support this chapter. Constant and mutual. Here's what that means. Well, mutual is easy. Tony and Tina. You know, both partners have to practice these or the relationship becomes a ticking time bomb. They do, both of them. And it has to happen constantly. I've seen so many problems inside relationships where one person eventually thinks to themselves, or maybe doesn't even think that, it's just like subconscious, like, okay, well, I've done that. I don't have to do it anymore. You know, he's my husband. I don't have to do this anymore. You know, it's forever now. Well, no, it's not. Okay? Mutual and constant. You can't do this for like 2 years and then stop doing it. Any of these. Keep that in mind. All right, let's go back to confirming behaviors. These are actions that you do. On the very outer ring of Tony is his actions. Those actions, in regard to Tina, have to show Tina that she's of value to Tony, and vice versa, Tina and Tony. Here, listen. I call this the show me, don't tell me skill. Show me, don't tell me. Okay? You can say, I love you, 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 all day long, 10 years in a row. You can say that, but, and we know this from nonverbals, if your actions don't show the love, we will believe your actions 100% of the time. We learn that in chapter 5. So the words, I love you, I love you, I love you, are way, way, way less powerful without the actions that show the other person that they are one of your values. Act accordingly. You know, it gives credence to the person that invented the phrase, actions speak louder than words. Because the opposite of confirming behaviors are behaviors that oppress, behaviors that, you know, put the other down, that puts your life partner down, pushes them down. You know, abusive behaviors. Who needs that in a life partnership? Don't get stuck in that catch-22. Your actions should undergird and support each other. Your actions should replace words altogether. Like, you don't have to say, I love you, I know you love me, you do this and this and this and this, and oh my God, the other day, oh my God, that was an act of love. an act of love. You should undergird each other and push each other skyward. It should be a race. I'm not joking. It should be a competition to see if you can keep your partner just a little bit higher on the proverbial pedestal than they're keeping you. Okay? But if your actions are knocking them off that pedestal and holding them down and pushing them down, boy, I tell you what, campers, you're doing it wrong. Remember what my grandpa said, you don't run away. He said you don't walk away from friends. Like that, you run. You run, sorry. All right. Confirming behaviors. I know so many couples that this was a problem before the relationship exploded. What? Yeah, listen. I know a couple where the husband forgot the wife's birthday 2 years in a row. True story. Forgot her birthday. Didn't do a thing on her birthday. I think he's one of these guys that was like, oh, she's my wife. She's got a ring. Check that off. Don't. Constant and mutual. Okay? Man, I tell you what, that thing exploded after a while. It really did. She actually told a story one time where she crawled across the table, grabbed him by the shirt, and screamed into his face, "Buy me flowers now," and pushed him back in his seat because he hadn't done a thing to show her. None of his actions showed her that she was loved. Yeah. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. All right, campers. That's skill number 1. I love starting with that skill because you have work to do in those actions, in the way you act, so that the other person in the relationship knows that in your core, one of your values is them. Yeah. That'd be a good start. That'd be a great start. All right, we got 5 skills left to keep Tony and Tina life partners. You know, those guys that overlap a lot. All right, keep that smile, all that happy crap. Keep your stick on the ice. You know, I'm rooting for you. Oh, missed it. I missed the button. Hold on. I don't